Hello, this is ADBN News at 7. Let's begin with the headlines. Reps prohibits dual membership of political parties and new Electoral Act amendment. Chief of Naval Staff charges Navy commanders on increased reliance on intelligence technology. Trade Union Congress advocates equal pay for equal work. On the foreign scene, International Energy Agency agrees to largest ever release of oil reserves. In sport, Nigeria midfielder daggers sentence for sexual offense. I am Princess Ekeze. Now details of the news. The Senate on Wednesday confirmed the appointment of Professor Taiwo Oyedele as the ministerial nominee of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, following his screening and consideration by lawmakers who charged him to prioritize economic reforms, improve the ease of doing business, and promote local manufacturing. The confirmation followed deliberations during plenary, where senators examined the nominee's policy direction and readiness to address Nigeria's fiscal challenges, including rising public borrowing and weak capital budget performance. During the session, the Deputy Senate President, Jibril Barau, urged Oyedele to take into account the country's vast mineral resources and the persistent underperformance of capital budget implementation in recent years. Other lawmakers emphasized the need for policies capable of strengthening domestic industries and reducing dependence on import. They also urged the nominee to support initiatives that would improve the business environment and prioritize funding for security agencies through first-line charges to enhance national stability. Responding to the concerns raised, Oyedele observed that Nigeria's budget size remained disproportionately small relative to the scale of its economy, stressing the need for deliberate and prudent utilization of public resources. The nominee also addressed concerns over the recent adjustment of capital gains tax, noting that stakeholders had expressed reservations about the increase from 5% to 30% compared to an average of about 15% globally. Following deliberations, Ababia put the confirmation to a voice vote, which received overwhelming support from lawmakers, paving the way for Oyedele's appointment. The confirmation is expected to reinforce the administration's ongoing fiscal and tax reform agenda aimed at improving revenue generation, infrastructure development, and overall economic stability. Insecurity in parts of the country remains a major concern, with lawmakers from Ekiti and Kwara State calling for increased security presence in the communities to safeguard lives and property. The lawmakers say urgent steps must be taken to prevent recurring attacks by bandits in the affected areas. They also urge relevant security agencies to intensify operations to restore peace and confidence among residents. Meanwhile, to prevent further loss of lives, the House of Representatives has called for the construction of a pedestrian bridge along the ongoing Shagamu-Bini Expressway project. The resolution followed a motion moved by Adeshola Ayola Elebeji, a member representing Ogun State. Lawmakers say the bridge will help reduce accidents and protect pedestrians along the busy highway.
Call on the Office of the National Security Advisor to coordinate a joint security operation involving relevant security agencies to identify and dismantle criminal camps operating within the forest around Ekiti, Kogi, and Kwara border access. Mandate the House Committees on Defense, Army, Police Affairs, and National Security and Intelligence to engage with the relevant security agencies to ascertain the steps being taken to address the situation.
Condemn the incident of carnage, distant killings, destruction of properties, and kidnapping of women and children in rural communities. Kayama local government area of Kwara State. Mandate the Nigerian Army to establish a military base in Kayama, as this will be the 5th time this request will be coming from my motion.
Also notes that the ongoing construction of the Shagamu-Benin Expressway has inadvertently created significant safety challenges for pedestrians and motorists due to the absence of designated pedestrian crossings, bridges, and flyovers. Aware that the expressway has effectively divided Shagamu town into two distinct parts, with a section along the expressway experiencing an explosive population growth, tripling the size of the older part of Shagamu, leading to constant movement of residents, traders, and students along the highway.
House of Representatives has amended the new Electoral Act to prohibit dual membership of political parties. Lawmakers say any politician found belonging to two or more political parties would now face a fine of 10 million naira or 2 years imprisonment, or both. The amendment comes as political activities gradually build towards the 2027 general elections. Weeks after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed the Electoral Act into law, the House reviewed Section 77, which deals with party membership. Lawmakers say the amendment is aimed at preventing double registration and multiple party affiliations by politicians. Acting Leader of the House, Honorable Sada Soli, says the move is intended to strengthen the exclusivity of political party membership.
14 days, elect in writing one political party to retain membership. Because we must guarantee the freedom of association. Then failure to make such election shall render that person ineligible to participate in the primary election of any political party for that electoral cycle. This law must be clear on this process. Otherwise, the lawyers within that 21 days gap, they will stop primary elections of any political parties. We have detected so and so registered in so and so political parties, and it can affect your primaries. And then gives the political party the time also to determine or to give the person the freedom of association. Which political party do you want to belong to?
However, the amendment generated mixed reactions from some lawmakers who called for caution.
The freedom to associate with all the two political parties he might have belonged to is a contravention of his right under Section 40 of the Constitution of Federal Population, which guarantees freedom of association. So I submit that this act, we should amend this recommendation to mean that at all material time, a Nigerian must be limited to only one political party.
Is it possible for somebody to go to another political party without my permission to go and register me there, and now turn around to claim that I have registered in two political parties? If it is possible, then we might be creating a situation that we may not be able to manage.
I think you cannot, it will be mischief to, as an adult, go and register in two political parties at the same time. It is wrong, totally wrong, an act of dishonesty. You should belong to one and follow that one through.
But the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Benjamin Carlo, dismissed the concerns as the amendment scaled through.
If you have, as a party, submitted your register, and there are about 3 registers or 4 registers where somebody wants to be mischievous, is in Party A, Party B, Party C.
Yes.
What should be his punishment? That is where we are. Because it's happening.
Mr. Chairman,
it's happening. The law wants to breach that gap. What should be the punishment? Because the database of INEC will have your details for Party A and have your details for Party B. If at the end of screening it, INEC comes out and say, look at these names, they are multiple parties.
Earlier, 5 members of the House announced their defection from the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party. The defections were read during plenary by the Speaker, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. While 4 lawmakers defected to the All Progressive Congress, 1 moved to the Accord Party.
I write to formally inform you and this honorable House of my decision to resign my membership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and declare for the All Progressive Congress, APC, effective immediately. The primary reason for my defection is the protracted crisis and internal division currently plaguing the PDP, which has adversely affected its ability to maintain cohesion and deliver effectively on its mandate. Because of my decision to defect from the Labour Party to the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party. This decision has become necessary and inevitable due to the prolonged and unresolved leadership crisis within the Labour Party.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral A.D. Abbas, had charged commanders of Nigerian Navy formations to intensify operations using intelligence and technology to protect the nation's maritime domain. He gave the directive during a strategic meeting with flag officers, commanding and other senior commanders at Naval Headquarters on 10th March 2026. Vice Admiral Abbas said the engagement, coming 4 months after assuming office, is aimed at repositioning naval operations in line with the Navy's total spectrum maritime strategy. He commended the success of Operation Delta Sentinel and other missions that have led to seizures of stolen crude oil, destruction of illegal refineries, arrest of bunkerers, and improved search and rescue operations. The naval chief also praised the contributions of the Nigerian Navy to joint counter-terrorism operations across the country and urged commanders to sustain collaboration with other security agencies. He reiterated his commitment to discipline, merit, accountability, and personal welfare as key principles for building a modern and professional naval force. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, has described diagnostics as the foundation of modern health care, stressing that strengthening diagnostic capacity is critical to improving the efficiency and performance of Nigeria's health system. He stated this at the 2026 National Summit on Diagnostics in Abuja, where he was represented by the ministry's Permanent Secretary, Daju Kachalam. Dr. Salako said, accurate and timely diagnosis is vital for disease prevention, early detection, and effective treatment, noting that a large proportion of clinical decisions globally rely on diagnostic results, adding that building a resilient and well-coordinated diagnostic system is essential for quality health care delivery across the country. The minister is playing that strengthening diagnostics goes beyond infrastructure and requires strong governance, skilled manpower, sustainable financing, and effective partnerships. He added that the federal government is prioritizing local production and innovation in diagnostic technologies to enhance national health security, create jobs, and position Nigeria as a regional leader in healthcare solutions. Elsewhere, the UN Women Country Representative in Nigeria, Ms. Beatrice Ayong, has urged the Trade Union Congress to continue to champion the rights of women and warned against the dangers of leaving women behind. Ms. Ayong gave the charge at the 2026 International Women's Day celebration hosted by the TUC Women's Commission in Abuja. The theme of the two-day event, which drew members of the Commission from all over the country, is empowering women, the path to equal rights and economic justice. Ms. Ayong highlighted the benefits women bring to the table when given the opportunity.
But the UN global theme is rights, justice, action for all women and girls. And there's another theme that is running, which is give to gain. But we say these two themes, they talk of the same story. If you give women anything you give to women, they will multiply it. Rights, they come from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And that declaration recognizes the fact that it is through these rights, justice, that we can have freedom and peace within the world. And it also recognizes that everyone is born free and equal. But what we have seen is that there are gender inequalities. And gender inequalities are injustices that must be corrected.
Keynote speaker and country rep of the International Labour Organization, ILO, for Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, Ms. Vanessa Fowler, in her address, lamented that women's participation in certain sections of the labour market remains disappointing. She noted that without deliberate policies, inequalities will deepen, and appealed to the government and organizations to strengthen market institutions to ensure women have equal access to opportunities.
Without deliberate policies, they may also deepen existing inequalities. So this theme, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, my comrades, sisters, it presents several challenges for us. Number one, we need to continue to address structural barriers, including some of the discriminatory norms, occupational segregation, and unequal care responsibilities. And I'm very happy, and of course, my sister Beatrice from UN Women, we continue to collaborate in order to implement targeted and meaningful intervention. Secondly, we also have to strengthen labor market institutions to ensure that women have access to social protection.
On her part, the national chairperson of the Trade Union Congress Women's Commission, Comrade Esther Amadu, highlighted the importance of women's empowerment and pointed out the need to dismantle structural inequalities that has held women back. She called for equal pay for equal work.
The struggle for women's rights is inseparable from the fight for justice. And this justice must be holistic, embracing both legal rights and economic opportunities. In Nigeria, we have made significant strides. The efforts of the Trade Union Congress Women Commission stand as a testament to what collective action can achieve. We have fought tirelessly for the inclusion of women in decision-making processes that have championed policies that aimed to close the gender pay gap, promote women's entrepreneurship, and ensure equal access to political representation. However, much work remains to be done.
The Managing Director, Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, Barrister Oluwaseun Faleye, and the key partner for the event underscore the need for sustained advocacy and supportive action from leaders at all levels. He highlighted the problem of inequalities in the workplace. Faleye stressed that economic justice is necessary and advocated implementation of workers' compensation schemes in the interests of women especially.
As we celebrate today, let us reaffirm our shared commitment to building a future where every woman has the opportunity to work in a safe environment, earn a fair income, and participate fully in decision-making processes that shape our economy and society. And I use this opportunity really to call on women in workplaces to continually advocate for employers to adopt the employee compensation scheme as a form of social protection that further build this resilience in our workplaces, in our productivity, and in our communities. Because when vulnerabilities occur, it is really the women that bear the brunt of the challenges that.
The event featured panel discussions on the general theme and slogan of International Women's Day, cultural dance display, and other side attractions. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening collaboration with industry stakeholders to boost fertilizer consumption, increase agricultural productivity, and enhance food security in Nigeria. This formed the focus of a strategic meeting in Abuja between A federal government delegation led by the Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Owan Eno, and the leadership of the Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, FEPSAN, headed by Abubakar Sadiq Qasim. During the meeting, FEPSAN noted that although Nigeria's fertilizer production capacity has risen to about 16 million metric tons annually, local consumption remains around 2 million metric tons, with farmers applying about 24 kilograms per hectare, far below the African target of 50 kilograms, underscoring the need for stronger policies to improve access and adoption among farmers. Federal government has launched a renewed push to connect schools across Nigeria to reliable internet services as part of efforts to strengthen digital learning and expand access to modern educational tools. The initiative also aims to position the education sector to benefit from emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence. The move follows a directive from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to accelerate the expansion of digital infrastructure nationwide and ensure key sectors, including education, benefit directly from ongoing broadband and telecommunications investments. To advance the plan, Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alauser and the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy Dr. Bosun Tijani convened a high-level meeting in Abuja which stakeholders improve coordination between both ministries in connecting schools across the country. Discussions at the meeting focus on developing a coordinated framework to deliver internet connectivity to institutions at all levels of the education system, including primary and secondary schools, as well as universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. Dr. Alauser explained that the initiative builds on earlier broadband connectivity efforts through the Nigerian Research and Education Network, which previously supported tertiary institutions under a World Bank-funded project. While the program made significant progress, he noted that momentum slowed after the initial funding cycle ended, making it necessary to revive and expand the initiative. Also speaking, Dr. Tijani stressed that technology-driven education depends on reliable connectivity. He said Nigeria already hosts 8 international subsea internet cables, but the challenge remains distributing that capacity inland. According to him, the government's 90,000-kilometer national fiber expansion project and the deployment of 3,700 rural telecom towers are expected to extend broadband access nationwide, with many installations located near schools to support digital learning. Both ministers reaffirmed federal government's commitment to sustain collaboration between the education and communication sectors to ensure that digital infrastructure investment translate into improved learning outcomes. Away from that, consumers of premium motor spirit PMS, also known as petrol in Nigeria, have called on the federal government to sell crude oil to local petrol producers at a reduced rate rather than an international market prices. This follows a recent surge in fuel prices that has impacted several sectors of the economy. Our correspondent David Isong, who visited some petrol stations on Uyo, reports.
The surge in petrol price, rising to nearly about 1,300 naira a litre across parts of the country, has once again exposed the fragile foundation of the nation's economy.
Nigeria has about 37 billion barrels of proven crude oil reserves, making it one of the largest oil reserve holders in Africa. From crude oil, several useful petroleum products such as petrol, kerosene, diesel, liquefied natural gas, aviation fuel, and petrochemicals, among other energy-related products, are produced. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria currently has the capacity to locally produce about 40 million litres of petrol per day, despite an estimated national demand of 75 million litres daily. However, the country continues to grapple with fuel instability and occasional scarcity, as many citizens believe the removal of fuel subsidy is responsible for the recent surge in prices.
It's really affecting because the passengers some are not complying, while some are complying. So if the government will see something to do about it so that our business can move smoothly, because as it is now, the business is not moving smoothly.
It's the job of the federal government to make sure that the people which you govern actually get things moving well with them. And one of the basics is having fuel.
The truth is that since the removal of a subsidy, there has been low in turnover, at least in terms of litter being bought, because everybody has to key into the austere measure. So that is the basic thing.
Some residents also attribute the nationwide price increase to tensions arising from the conflict involving Iran, Israel and the United States, which they say has contributed to rising global energy costs and is affecting different sectors of the economy.
Some people say they are fighting in Iraq, that's why we are having problem, because the Dangote is buying fuel, it's not supplying fuel. I don't know. But what we are saying is that the government should do something about it.
It's really biting on people, it's affecting the transportation fare. I believe if we had done something about the CNG intervention by now, probably this will have a very little effect on us.
Beyond commercial transportation, business owners who purchase and distribute goods in bulk have expressed concern over the impact of the price hike in their operations, while calling for wider adoption of the compressed natural gas system as an alternative.
The problem, I think, is with the Nigerian government. Why sell crude oil to Dangote at the prevailing price, at the international price? Why not drop it for the domestic market? I think that is the solution.
They are saying we normally pay, let's just say, a little amount of money, normal day that they sell fuel in normal price, but now the driver is charging high because of the fuel high price. So, but we thank God, we see what we can do.
Some petrol stations, unable to cope with the rising cost of fuel, have temporarily shut their gates, forcing motorists to seek petrol from other outlets. Currently, petrol sells for between 1,100 naira to 1,400 naira per litre. Diesel ranges from 1,600 naira to 1,800 naira per litre. Kerosene sells for about 1,000 naira per litre, while liquefied natural gas, otherwise known as cooking gas, is sold for about 1,300 naira to 1,500 naira per kilogram. David Isong, ADBN News.
Efforts to improve road infrastructure in Edo State have received a boost as Governor Mandel Bello commissioned newly procured light and heavy-duty equipment for road maintenance across the state. The equipment was unveiled at the Ministry of Works along Sapele Road in Benin City, where the governor said the initiative is aimed at strengthening the state's capacity to respond to road failures and maintain critical road networks. Governor Bello noted that poor roads have for years contributed The governor urged engineers and operators responsible for the equipment to ensure they are deployed professionally and used strictly for the benefit of the people. Deputy Governor Dennis Idahosa, Commissioner for Works Felix Okabwe, and Chairman of the Edo State Road Maintenance Agency Felix Ibade also commended the initiative, describing it as a strategic step towards improving road maintenance and boosting economic activities across the state.
Today, we have set the ball rolling. The agenda of Mr. President will key into it. That is renewed hope for Edo people. When we say we are going to deliver our vote, we are not just saying it, we mean it. It's only a working governor that we have confidence to say what I'm saying. It's a long journey Edo have suffered. Today we are privileged again to commission this equipment.
I'm happy we have a listening governor. Ministry of Works, as you know, we are constructing roads. And what we lack in Nigeria, and Edo State inclusive, is lack of maintenance culture. No matter the number of roads we construct today, if we don't maintain them, sooner or later, we'll not have roads again. Because the road we are constructing will not be maintained if we don't cooperate with them. Not only we as Minister of Work cooperating with them, Edo people, we have to cooperate with maintenance agencies so that they can maintain our roads.
In line with your campaign promises to Edo people, you said you were going to touch in all the critical sectors in our state. The road that you are constructing and the maintenance agency that you have also provided today. Your Excellency, the road alone supports the economic development of our dear state.
Edo State has emerged as the overall winner of the 2026 Niger Delta Development Commission Games, with the governor pledging sustained support for sport development in the state. The governor made the commitment while receiving the Champions Trophy from Team Edo during a reception at the new Festival Hall, Government House, Benin City, where athletes, coaches and sport officials were honored for their performance at the regional tournament. Governor Bello said the victory highlights the depth of sporting talent in the state and assured that his administration will continue to invest in programs that identify and nurture young athletes capable of representing Nigeria on the global stage. The governor also reiterated his promise of a 20 million naira reward for the athletes, describing the triumph as a moment of pride for Edo people. Chairman of the Edo State Sports Commission attributed the achievement to early preparation and government support, noting that Team Edo's success marks the state's first major multi-sport tournament victory in about 24 years. Team Edo finished at the top of the medals table with 52 gold, 34 silver and 25 bronze medals, recording a total of 111 medals to defeat 8 other participating Niger Delta states. You're watching ADBN News at 7. Stay with us for more stories after the break.
The overall function of the Parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes of federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to the news. Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mbah, has called on the Southeast to embrace strategic politics to return to the center of national decision-making, lamenting that the region had become politically fragmented and disconnected from the center in recent years. He made the remarks on Tuesday at the Government House, Enugu, while receiving the leadership and members of the City Boy movement, a group advocating the re-election of President Bola Tinubu. Dr. Peter Mbah said the political forebears of Ndibo were known for strategic engagement rather than sentimental or isolationist politics, stressing that the region could not afford to remain on the margins of Niger's political and decision-making structures. He also commended President Bola Tinubu's economic policies, noting that although they initially created challenges, they had helped ease macroeconomic pressures and address uncertainties, particularly in the foreign exchange market, which previously discouraged foreign investors. Earlier, the Southeast coordinator of the City Boy movement, Obinna Iebu, popularly known as Obi Kubana, said the region had lost considerable ground due to isolationist politics, but had learned the need to build strategic alliances to protect its present and future interests. He noted that despite the historical role of Ndibo as one of the tripod of Nigerian Federation, other regions could now win presidential elections without the votes of the Southeast because of the type of politics practiced in the region. Also speaking, the state director of the movement, Prince Emeka Mama, and the state patron, Chief Charles Mba, commended Dr. Peter Mba for what they describe as significant transformations taking place in Enugu State under his leadership. They pledged to mobilize support to ensure landslide victories for President Bola Tinubu and Governor Peter Mba in future elections. Lagos State has been confirmed as the host city for the 2027 Intra-African Trade Fair, a continental event aimed at boosting trade and investment across Africa following the signing of the hosting agreement of the Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and Creative Arts in Igamo. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said Lagos is ready to deliver a world-class event citing the state's infrastructure, experience and strategic position as a commercial hub. He added that the fair will strengthen economic ties among African nations, provide a platform to showcase African strength and expand intra-African trade.
The Nigerian and African story will certainly not be lost if there's no Lagos story. And it started, like our Honorable Minister said, several decades ago, where Lagos has taken its rightful place. And she had said the story has into when the letter came up onto her table and she had to take the hard decision. She made the phone call and she said to me that I'm shaving your head in your absence. I'm going to be committing to something in Lagos and you have to be with me on this. And of course I said, let's go ahead, we'll do it. We'll do it knowing fully well that it is a time for Africa to take its rightful place in the global stage. And if we're indeed serious about that, the likes of what AfroExim and what the EU and African Commission have birthed for us, the minimum we can do as a government is to continue to validate that.
Also speaking at the ceremony, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, chairman of the IATF 2027 Advisory Council, described Nigeria's hosting of the fair as a major milestone, noting that it will strengthen Africa's unified market and deepen regional economic cooperation.
I wish to reaffirm the commitment of the IATF 2027 Advisory Council, of which I am the chairman, in collaboration with our partners and the House and the host country, Nigeria, to orchestrate an exceptionally successful 5th edition of the Intra-African Trade Fair here in Lagos, Nigeria. It is imperative that through the IATF, we endeavor to elevate our standards and achievements as we advance towards realizing our developmental aspirations, as outlined in the African Union's Agenda 2063.
Also at the ceremony, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, said the event will build trust among African businesses, communities, and create opportunities for investors, entrepreneurs, and small businesses, adding that the federal government is coordinating closely with stakeholders to ensure a successful fair.
In just 4 editions, the Intra-African Trade Fair has generated more than $167 billion in trade and investment deals. Algeria, our gracious host of the 4th edition, recorded $48.3 billion in transactions alone. As we prepare for IATF 2027 in Nigeria, we have crossed the 5-year mark since the commencement of the AFCFTA implementation. Nigeria is proud to be the first AFCFTA state party to complete its 5-year implementation review in 2025, an obligation under the agreement, and we have a comprehensive understanding of the reforms, investments, and institutional practices required to fully realize the promise of the AFCFTA.
The biennial fair is expected to attract thousands of participants from across Africa and beyond, as Nigeria positions itself as a leading destination for trade and investment on the continent. Still in Lagos, the State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has called for stronger collaboration to expand education support across schools in the state. The Governor made the call while receiving the Board of Trustees of Teach for Nigeria and the Global Chief Executive Officer of the Teach for All Global Network, Wendy Kopp, during a courtesy visit at Lagos House in Ikeja. Governor Sanwo-Olu said although the program is already making a positive impact in the education sector, it needs to be expanded so more schools and students in Lagos can benefit. He noted that Lagos, with its large population and expanded school infrastructure, requires broader interventions that will reach more pupils and improve learning outcomes. Speaking during the visit, Wendy Kopp commended the Lagos State government for its continued support, noting that about 200 fellows are currently serving in Lagos schools, helping to improve foundational literacy and numeracy. Also speaking, Chief Executive Officer of Teach for Nigeria, Folawe Omikule, said the organization has deployed more than 480 fellows across Lagos schools over the past 6 to 7 years, impacting more than 120,000 students. She added that the organization plans to place an additional 150 fellows in schools across the state in the coming academic session and is exploring opportunities to support the training of about 500 teachers in Lagos. Elsewhere, the Benue State government has sought collaboration with the North Central Development Commission (NCDC). Governor Hyacinth Alia, who spoke Wednesday at the old banquet hall of Government House, Makurdi, while playing host to the board and management of the commission led by Barrister Cosmas Akigir, identified possible areas of collaboration to include agriculture, job creation and infrastructure in the rural areas. The governor stressed the need for the establishment of agro-processing zones that would help revitalize some agriculture centers and vocational skills centers across the state to help train the youths on basic skills that would transform their lives and that of their communities, stating the willingness of its administration to support any efforts in that regard. Governor Alia, who commended members of the board accepting to serve the country, charged members of the commission to be apolitical to enable them to be more effective in the discharge of their responsibility, arguing that as pioneer members of the commission, there were high expectations from the people, particularly those from Benue. Chairman of the commission, Barrister Akigir, said Benue State was strategically located within the North Central because of its richness in minerals deposit and fertile land for agriculture, especially food production, saying the essence of the visit was to see how they could partner the state government for enhanced development within the North Central and Benue in particular. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Mr. Cyril Sengil, said the mandate of the Commission was conceiving, planning and implementation of the projects and programs for sustainable development of the states in the region, saying the visit was to obtain first-hand information about the needs and expectations of the people of the region from the Commission. You're watching ADBN News at 7. Stay with us for more stories after the break.
For your news news on the go. ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linuxwell TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Welcome back, and now let's take a look at some foreign stories. Russia has been accused of helping Iran with advanced drone tactics from its war in Ukraine to hit U.S. and Gulf nation targets in the Middle East by a Western intelligence official who spoke on condition of anonymity. The official said that what was more general support is now getting more concerning, including UAS drone targeting strategies that Russia employed in Ukraine. While the official declined to specify the exact tactical help, Russia has used Shahed drones against Ukraine in waves, with multiple drones flying together and changing course regularly to elude air defenses. In one night, Ukraine can face over 1,000 drones. Shahed drones, designed by Iran but mass-produced by Moscow for use in Ukraine, have been unexpectedly successful in penetrating the air defenses of Gulf nations. Russian intelligence sharing with Iran has until now been reported as general assistance with targeting. Specific tactical advice would indicate a new level of potentially lethal support. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said on X Wednesday that Russia has started supporting the Iranian regime with drones, adding that it would definitely help with missiles and it is also helping with them with air defense. The 32 members of the International Energy Agency have agreed to their largest ever release of oil reserves in an effort to calm markets. The IEA, which includes the UK and US, will release 400 million barrels. That's about 4 days' worth, according to reports. This comes after 3 commercial ships were damaged by unknown projectiles in the Strait of Hormuz. Earlier, the U.S. military said it eliminated 16 Iranian mine-laying ships in the area in Dubai. 4 people were injured when 2 drones fell near Dubai airport in the second drone attack in the area in recent days. Israel has launched more attacks on Iran and Lebanon in central Beirut. There is absolute shock after an apartment building was hit, reports say. Global oil prices had risen following the crisis in Iran and difficulty shipping through the Straits of Hormuz, causing concern in many quarters. Meanwhile, Iran's Sport Minister Ahmed Donyamali said on Wednesday that the country cannot participate in the 2026 World Cup after co-host the United States launched airstrikes against the country alongside Israel, killing its leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And now to sport, British Nigerian boxing star Anthony Joshua has confirmed plans to relocate from the United Kingdom to Dubai, formally declaring the Emirate as his country of residence in newly filed business documents. The 36-year-old former heavyweight world champion, who was born in Watford to Nigerian parents, won Olympic gold at the 2012 London Olympics and has since received both Member of the Order of the British Empire and Officer of the Order of the British Empire honours for his achievements in sport. Joshua disclosed a change of residence in paperwork filed on Friday relating to his business interests, including Sparta Promotions, which forms part of his reported £150 million commercial empire. Company documentation requires directors to state their country or residence. The move comes despite heightened regional tensions involving Iran, Israel, and the United States, which have raised security concerns across parts of the Gulf region, including the United Arab Emirates. Dubai remains a popular destination for high net worth individuals due to its climate, modern facility, and favorable tax environment, notably the absence of personal income tax. Nigeria's Flying Eagles midfielder Daniel Dage has been sentenced to 6 months in prison by a court in Norway after being found guilty of committing a sexual act without consent. The 19-year-old has also been ordered to pay 10,000 Norwegian kroner in legal costs. Meanwhile, his Norwegian club Mode FK confirmed the development but stressed that the ruling is not yet legally final. In a statement, the club said the player, through his defense lawyer, has filed an appeal against the verdict. As a result, the case will proceed through the Norwegian judicial system and remain subject to further legal review. Dage joined Mode ahead of the 2025 season and made 15 appearances for the club, scoring 3 goals. Dage represented the Nigerian national under-20 football team and was the youngest player named in Nigeria's squad for the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Still in sport, Australia has confirmed it granted humanitarian visas to 7 members of the Iranian women's national football team delegation on Wednesday morning as the remainder of the squad travelled on to Malaysia. Australia's Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke said 1 player and a member of the team support staff accepted the government's offer of protection a day after 5 other players were granted asylum. However, Burke revealed that 1 of the 7 later changed her decision at the last moment and opted to return to Iran with the rest of the team. The Iranian women's football team had been in Australia competing in the AFC Women's Asian Cup, which, when conflict erupted in their homeland, the situation drew global attention after the players declined to sing Iran's national anthem before their opening match. Concerns for the players' safety intensified after Iranian state television reportedly labeled them wartime traitors for refusing to sing the anthem. The decision by Australia to grant asylum to several members of the delegation followed days of appeals from Iranian advocacy groups based in Australia and from U.S. President Donald Trump, who urged the Australian government to provide the players with protection. 4-time Grand Slam champion Jannik Sinner edged past Brazil's tennis sensation João Fonseca's 7-6, 7-6 in a thrilling stadium court encounter on Tuesday to book his place in the quarterfinals of the Indian Wells Open. The first meeting between world number 2 Sinner and the powerful 19-year-old lived up to expectations with an electrifying contest that drew an animated response from a lively crowd filled with enthusiastic Brazilian supporters. Sinner will next face another rising talent, 20-year-old American Leonard Tien, for a place in the semi-finals. Tien saved 2 match points to reach his first Masters 1000 quarterfinal, battling past Spain's Alejandro Davidovich Fokina 4-6, 6-1, 7-6. In the women's draw, 14th seed Linda Noskova produced a dominant display to defeat Alex Ella 6-2, 6-0 and advance to the quarterfinals. Noskova will next face Australia qualifier Talia Gibson for a place in the semi-finals. And that's all we have for you tonight. Remember to watch us live on DSTV channel 258 and Star Time channel 140. You see us, watch us on Avo TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website at www.adbntv.com. You can also watch us live from every part of the world by logging on to www.adbntv.com/live. I am Princess Ekeze. Good evening.
ADBN, Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Some things don't arrive. They've always